My name is Chelsea Berg. I'm 34. I had a high altitude mountain accident in 2019, which ended up with severe frostbite on 8 of my fingers and a good portion of my right glute and upper leg. When I got to the hospital on the first day after my accident, I was told almost immediately, "We're really sorry, but there's not much that we can do." The standard procedure for frostbite treatment is amputation once the fingers are mummified. At that point, that would have left me with almost no fingers on this part of my hand and very little on my left hand. When the doctor told me that basically it was do nothing and wait until my fingers mummified and then basically amputate the fingers below that. I had done exams that showed that I had healthy bones in my fingers up to a certain point. I felt like I wanted to at least explore the option to recover as much as I could, up through what I felt like was, if I have healthy bones, how are we gonna amputate all of my fingers? With that, I did a little bit more investigation and I ended up finding RNG, which had a newer technique to help the body use its own recipe for generating new tissue. And to me, that felt like at least I was going to be trying everything I could to make sure that I was going to have the best outcome possible for me, and that whenever I had my amputation, it was going to be the best possible option in my case. It was critical for me to be able to go back to the life that I love. It was impossible for me to see myself outside of the mountain, outside, biking, outside, all the athletics that I do. For me, my hands are super important for, gripping equipment, ice axes, tying knots, using ropes, using carabiners, lifting weights, using my, the handlebars on my bicycle. And I knew that having any little bit of fingers was going to give me my life back. It was a new treatment and it didn't have guaranteed results, and we didn't know what was going to happen. There was a lot of ups and downs during the treatment. It was long. There was many months of treatments, but my wounds were quite extensive. I was committed to my best result, whatever that looked like. When I first started learning about the whole process of natural regeneration, it's so different and unique, but it makes sense to me. The fact that I'm still here, the fact that I have these fingers, the fact that my body has completely recovered from an extremely traumatic accident is proof that my body knows what to do and how to heal itself. And I felt like if anything's gonna work, let's try this. In one way of looking at it, my recovery is ending, but in another way, my recovery is just beginning because there are many phases of recovery. The first phase was just healing my fingers enough to have surgery. The second recovery was really post-operation recovery, which was letting the wounds heal and starting to get movement back in the fingers, starting to gain strength. The third part, which was what I'm just ending right now, is really kind of on a more advanced level, being able to do all of the things that I need to do to live my normal life. The good thing with these little fingers that I've saved is that I don't feel a need to have a prosthetic. The fourth phase of recovery, which is where I'm at now, is really on that higher technical, fine motor skills lifestyle that's mine, which includes climbing, skiing, mountaineering, biking, weightlifting, just being me. I have an ability to grip, which If I didn't have these little fingers, I would not be able to grip anything. With the results of the treatments I did with RNG in complement with the daily hyperbaric oxygen treatment that I was doing, with that combination, I was able to save, the first phalange on all of these fingers, and also completely recover these three with no amputation whatsoever. And really on this finger, a little bit of bone I lost at the top. So the nail curves over, but the reality is virtually nothing. This entire left hand is fully functional, and this hand is functional. I think it's super critical that everybody knows about the full range of options out there for treating frostbite and other tissue-related injuries. Since my accident, multiple mountaineers have reached out to me with their frostbite accidents and asked me about my treatments, what I was doing, and what if I had any recommendations on what they should do. For me, it's super important that they have access to treatments like this one, because a lot of them have ended up with amputations more severe than maybe it needed to be. And so anything that you can to save a little bit, it just reduces how much of an impact is that going to have on your life, and how much of a deterrent is it going to be. During my treatment, I did also, get some criticism on, what's a phalange? What's another, millimeter? What's another centimeter? Every little bit that you have gives you bend, which gives you grip, which gives you strength. And the reality is I wouldn't go back and do my treatment in any other way. I would do it the exact same way that I did it, because I know that it is impossible for me to have more fingers than I have right now. Today, I'm biking, climbing, ice climbing. I'm gonna start getting back into rock climbing. I'm lifting weights. I'm living my life again. And the reality is these little fingers, and they don't faze me. I'm so grateful for these fingers.